truly outstanding. So every year, the WOROGON National Board recognizes an individual, council leader or council member, for his or her superb leadership in directing or helping an individual council's activities over the preceding year, and their dedication to the mission of the World Affairs Councils of America. It is my distinct honor to introduce this year's recipient of the Chairman's Individual Award, Derrick Olsen, President of WorldOregon. For those of you who know Derrick, which is most of the room, he's a kind person who embodies the qualities of leadership, dedication, and vision in every sense. By way of background, prior to joining WorldOregon in 2016, so 8 years ago, Derrick was the Vice President of Regional Strategy at the Regional Economic Development nonprofit Greater Portland, Inc. for almost 4 years. He also coincidentally served on the board of WorldOregon during that time. Previously, Derrick managed the international trade and investment issues for 4 years with the Oregon Business Development Department. Derrick also has 13 years of experience in foreign service. He was managing political and economic issues as a foreign service officer in Latin America, Asia, as well as Washington, D.C., with 4 overseas tours, including he was the chief of the U.S. Embassy's political section in Honduras. Fluent in Spanish, Derrick grew up in Oregon and graduated from Tigard High School. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Government and History from Dartmouth College and a Master of Science in Foreign Service from Georgetown. He also serves on the board of Global Ties US. Derrick and his wife Rebecca are the proud parents of their son James and their daughter Morgan, both young professionals. A Renaissance man who is always happy to pitch in wherever he is needed, Derrick's work exemplifies the very essence of this award: leadership that empowers, dedication that drives change, and vision that shapes the future of global engagement. During his 6 years on the WOCA board, he has been an important bridge between WOCA and our partners at the Global Ties Network. Derrick also steered the WOCA board nominating committee with exceptional vision and care. On behalf of the board of the World Affairs Councils of America, I am honored to present Derrick Olsen with the Chairman's Individual Award. Derrick, thank you so much for your outstanding leadership and your invaluable contributions to this organization. Please join me in welcoming and congratulating Derrick Olsen.
Thank you very much, Glenn, for that extremely warm introduction and for your great service as chair. This award is a very special honor for me, especially given the amazing leaders in the World Affairs Council America Network that have previously received it, and I'm truly humbled to be included in their company. Much as I was to serve on the board for many years, and a special privilege to be on the search committee that helped select Matthew, who I think is a fantastic president. I'm personally very honored to have in the audience from New York, our daughter Morgan, who's here, and in an Uber on the way from his grad school class, our son and her big brother, James, who is joining us shortly. My incredible wife and my best friend, Rebecca, is unable to be here tonight because she is home in Oregon, working as a paraeducator, helping kids with special needs in a public elementary school in Oregon. And yeah, she's very special for me. As you might be able to tell, I define myself probably a little bit more in my role as a husband, as a father, than as WorldOregon's president. But in many ways, being president of WorldOregon which is also known as the World Affairs Council of Oregon, is the culmination of much of my life's work. From my time living in England as an 8th grader for a year, to a college and graduate student focused on history, poli-sci, and international affairs, to the 13 years in the Foreign Service that Glenn mentioned, bouncing around the world, working on international trade and investment back in my home state of Oregon, and to leading the great organization of WorldOregon. My life truly has been centered around international issues. And I'm very proud to be leading a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization whose mission is to connect Oregonians with the world, fostering connections through learning and dialogue on global topics. In fact, one of my predecessors was hoping to join us tonight. U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley was going to be at the table. Unfortunately, the press of more important business, he is voting on judicial nominations in the Senate, and they're staying up late. I know this because I saw him the other night at an 8:30 a.m. meeting, and he said he'd been up till midnight the night before voting. So he sends his best, and as many of you know, he's a longtime friend of this network and had been very active when he had this role. And no, I don't plan to go into politics. But in addition to Senator Merkley and his support, we have a lot of great folks here from Oregon. I was going to give them a shout out. Susie Gates and Ella Asea, who are longtime supporters, and my colleague Tim DeRoche, who many of you know, who leads our public programs, and our student scholar Delaney Jones. Where are you all? You can give a shout out here. All right. So a huge thanks to all of them here in the room and our incredible staff back at home in Oregon, and our boards, trustees, advisors, sponsors, members, donors. All of you who are involved in a World Affairs Council know that it is a team effort, and they help make who we are and who we'll be next year when we'll be celebrating our 75th anniversary. A quick shout out to my friend you saw up here earlier tonight, Sean Dorman, who is the Foreign Service Journal editor. She and I were in training class together many, many years ago as junior Foreign Service officers. So it's pretty neat to see her up here. And it really is a special night to be doing this because the Foreign Service has been key to my life and key to the work we do as councils. Like many members, we do the work that you do. Our global classroom team engages high school students across the region on leadership skills, and we have culture boxes that get checked out to bring real life into the classrooms to explore the world and its cultures. Our international visitor program brings visitors from around the world in partnership with the Department of State and our DC nonprofit partners. And right here is Matthew's counterpart, Catherine Brown, who leads Global Ties US, and I'm honored to serve on their board, and it's just wonderful for me to see such a close partnership between the two organizations. And as I mentioned, Tim, who knows many of you in this room, every month leads incredible groundbreaking programs ranging from local professors to world thought leaders, bringing the Oregon and Southwest Washington, the world and its challenges. And it's not an easy time to be doing this, as you know. There's the era of high expenses, uncertain audience behavior, getting them to turn off Netflix and coming to your events, competing with foundations for support with the many direct services that need it in the nonprofit sector. So I implore all of you to do what you can to support and generously donate to WorldOregon and, of course, your local council. But in all seriousness, we need you and we need your colleagues because it is a challenging time, and I think our work is more important than ever. We were founded in 1950 at a time that had some challenges similar to this, where what we do is just critical. We have division and strife domestically and internationally, and all of us, I think, can play a role in whatever capacity you are to help foster, as WACA likes to say, the vital work of hosting events that bridge divides and create constructive third places. And as nonpartisan institutions, I believe we have a duty not to be blown where the political winds may sweep us, but rather to remain and stand rooted in who we are. As I told WorldOregon team recently, we must always use our positions of leadership in our communities to stand for the truth, stay true to our core values, and stand up against hate and discrimination. And none of those things are partisan actions. Councils should be flexible where they can be, but resolute where they must be. If one truly believes that a prosperous, more peaceful world is only possible through engagement and exchange, as I do, one can both serve our country as a patriotic U.S. Foreign Service officer and also humbly seek learning and discussion on global challenges and opportunities through listening to many perspectives, both local and global. One can believe in the importance of a strong U.S. military and believe that it's only through alliances and international trade and investment that we can confront threats to global peace and grow economies to combat poverty at home and abroad. Because as you know, and I don't need to persuade you, but I need you to help in your communities across this country, that almost every issue we face has an international aspect to it. And international engagement, learning foreign languages and cultures, caring about what happens in the world is never a luxury, it is a necessity. And while trends are in the aggregate, we must also focus on how foreign policy and global events impact individuals, venturing outside of our comfort zones. For if we hope to tackle the big challenges of our time, mitigating climate change, bolstering democracy, and leaving the world in a more just and prosperous place for the wiser generation like my kids to follow, we must do it together for the benefit of all of us. And so thanks for listening to my thoughts, and thank you for this honor and for all that you do. I'm very appreciative and humbled by this. Thank you. Now you get to. All right, yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks so much. All right, thank you.
Derrick, thank you so much. We can all see your passion for the work that you do, and we are reinforced in our decision that you should be our honoree this year. So thank you for all of that.